Wrong Turn 2021 is directed by Mike P. Nelson and stars Charlotte Vega, Adine Bradley, Bill Sage, Emma Dumont, and Matthew Modine, just to name a few. And it tells the story of some friends who go hiking the Appalachian Trail and are confronted by a group called the Foundation, who are a community of people who've lived in the mountains for hundreds of years. So, Wrong Turn. Now, the original Wrong Turn came out, I think, in 2003 or 2004, and ended up being a surprise hit and spawned a bunch of sequels, I think as many as maybe 6 or 7 in all. So, when they said they were going to reboot it, remake it, whatever, reimagine it, whatever they want to call it, it didn't really surprise me because that's been Hollywood's go-to of late. But the first Wrong Turn movie, I'm actually a fan of. I like it for what it is. It's a simple, fun slasher flick, and it does what it's supposed to do. So this movie, I saw the trailer. It looked really dark. The tones, the visuals, everything looked washed out and dark. And I could tell they were going for something gritty, something, maybe serious. And I said, okay, let me check it out and see if it's going to be worth my time. Let's talk about it. So first of all, I'll get into what I think worked here. At least it did for me. And I think the movie has a good look to it. I didn't mind. I mean, a lot of these movies do this kind of green colored, washed out sort of thing. It doesn't always work. But I thought it worked here for what this is, Another aspect of this movie that I enjoyed visually, I thought the location looked it was beautiful and scary at the same time. I've always wanted to hike in places like that. Here in my home country of Trinidad, we have lots of beaches and we do have some hiking trails, but nothing to that extent. Nothing where you feel like if you get lost, you'd be screwed, So it was quite beautiful to look at. That said, the only other aspect of this film I liked might be something that not everybody liked. And I did kind of dig the fact that it wasn't a bunch of cannibals. Now, my reason for that is that if they did that, then this would just be the exact same movie done over again. And I don't want to see that. If you're going to remake a movie, you need to do at least something a little bit different while still having respect for the original source material. And while I didn't see the latter happening here that much, I did like the fact that they decided to do something different, which is, this is not, like I said, this is not a group of cannibals. This is a group of people that choose to live up in the mountains for hundreds of years. So they have their own society, they have their own rules, and they have their own ideas of justice. And then we have these kids who, let's face it, they are just unlikable. Now, with the exception of Charlotte Vega's character, I think her name is Jen in this movie, nobody else here I had any interest in seeing get out alive. It's a horror movie, and when you have a group of friends together, you expect that. But the funny thing is, with the original Wrong Turn, as much as we didn't really get to know a lot of those characters, I felt it when Jeremy Sisto's character died. I felt sorry for him. I felt sorry for his love interest in that. Oh, I have the actress's name in my head, and it's just right there. I felt sorry for her. I did want to see these people make it out alive, and we didn't even spend that much time getting to know them. Here they have the whole getting to know them thing happening, but they are written like a bunch of douchey, kind of inconsiderate, insensitive type of people who, if people are different from them, they think that they're all woke and all of that crap and stuff, but at the end of the day, they're just as prejudiced as everybody else. So they're a bunch of awful people. And then the diversity here, it feels so in your face forced. It doesn't feel natural in any way. You have your gay couple, you have people of all color. There's nothing wrong with that, absolutely not. But I hate when things don't flow naturally. They don't feel naturally. It feels like you're trying to force this message or whatever, Just have a bunch of friends together. Have a bunch of people together that feel like they would actually be friends in real life. And this group of people, they don't feel like that. There's no chemistry within this group, you know. So when they start dying, I really don't care. And again, we're going to the negatives here. When they start dying, the kills here, I was very unsatisfied with. There's not that some of them weren't really, you know, cool. There was one with a giant tree trunk that I quite like, but they didn't really show you the kills here. They showed you the after effects of the kill. Now, if I'm watching a horror, a slasher, I know I love the Friday the 13th franchise, good, bad, whatever's in between. I dig the fact that the kills, you know, are some of the most innovative, well, of that time, and they were always kind of fun to watch go down. Here, what we see is the after effects of the kills most of the time. We don't actually see the kills, you know, so it's like, okay, that, I mean, it looks good, the practical effect, the body, whatever, it looks good, but I wanted to see, why is the camera pulling away every time? And then my biggest issue with this movie, guys, is it takes itself way too seriously and it runs too damn long. Honestly, there was a natural stopping point for this movie when certain things went down with the foundation, but the movie just insists that it had to add 30 minutes on to that runtime. This film should have ended at the 80-minute mark, really. There was zero reason for this to keep going on and on. For crying out loud, the final sequence goes into the credits. It's ridiculous. I sat there, and I mean, once you make a viewer look at their watch, you know you're losing them. And I sat there and I was like, how much longer? I was amazed there was still half an hour added to where I thought this movie should have ended. You know, you're not Lord of the Rings. You need to wrap this shit up. So this movie, for me, I give them points for trying something new with this story. I did like visually how this film looked, but other than that, it veered way too far off the course of what a fun slasher should be, and that's exactly what Wrong Turn did when it came out. It was a fun slasher, the likes of which we hadn't really seen for some time, you know. It kind of like a throwback to Friday the 13th and The Hills Have Eyes and that sort of thing, you know, the whole cannibals in the woods. That was cool. That was something we hadn't seen for quite a while. So if you're gonna want to reimagine that, and I did like the idea of these people that were just like super skilled at hunting and surviving and all of that, and they had their own society and their own rules, and there's even a kind of message in there about not judging people, because these kids make some decisions that land them in hot water with these people based on a misunderstanding, you know. So the movie does touch on that, but I don't need all of that from a slasher. I really don't. You know, I want a fun slasher. I want cool kills. I want great pacing. I want some likable characters and some not so likable characters, and a ton of blood and gore. And you've got me. You've got me right there. You keep it tight. You keep it fun. And it's going to be something you want to revisit time and time again when you're in the mood for something like that. This is not a movie that I'm going to be revisiting ever. So I'm giving Wrong Turn 2021 a 4.5 out of 10. I rather just watch the original again, guys. And that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. It's always appreciated. If you're new and you'd like to subscribe to my channel, you can click on my face when it pops up right about there. And if you want to check out past horror movie reviews, I've got a few of those inside there as well. So until the next time, guys, bye bye.